A very good afternoon and welcome to the midday news on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Ashwarya and here are the headlines. Government relaxes norms for middle income group to get benefits under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Approves a 33% increase in the carpet area of houses eligible for interest subsidy. This is after RBI last week revised the housing loan limits from the existing 28 lakh rupees to 35 lakh rupees in metropolitan areas. Prime Minister Modi to review progress of government's flagship schemes, spell out the agenda for the last year of the current NDA government at Council of Ministers meeting today. Union Cabinet meeting also scheduled for this evening. Four BSF personnel are martyred, three others injured as Pakistani Rangers violate ceasefire yet again. Incident along the international border in Jammu and Kashmir's Samba district. Violations continue despite India and Pakistan DGMOs agreeing to fully implement 2003 ceasefire pact last month. Congress candidate Soumya Reddy wins Jayanagar Assembly constituency. 55% turnout was recorded in the election on 11th of June. Earlier election was countermanded due to the death of BJP candidate BN Vijay Kumar in May this year. And it is yoga that refreshes and rejuvenates the Prime Minister and walk on track inspired by 5 elements of nature. Prime Minister Modi showcases his exercise regime as he accepts a fitness challenge started by the Sports Minister, passes on the challenge to Karnataka Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy by posting his fitness on Twitter. Our top story this afternoon, Prime Minister Nirav Modi will chair a meeting with his Council of Ministers today. He will review the progress of his government's flagship schemes and the agenda of 2018 before general elections next year. All ministers have been asked to attend the meeting, which is likely to discuss also the issue of farmer distress and the government's efforts to provide relief to them through various initiatives announced in the budget. Other flagship schemes are like the Pradhan Mantri Jan Aushadhi Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, Startup Funding Scheme, Mudra Yojana will also be reviewed in the meeting. The Prime Minister will also chair a meeting with his cabinet today as well. On to the other top story. In a major boost to affordable housing, the government raised the carpet area of houses eligible for subsidy under Credit Linked Subsidy Scheme for the middle income group segment. The carpet area of a house has now been increased from 160 square meters from the 120 square meters for MIG1, which comprises of families with a household income between 6 lakh to 12 lakh rupees. And the carpet area has now been increased from 150 square meters to 200 square meters in case of MIG2, which comprises of families with annual income between 12 lakh to 18 lakh rupees. The new rules will be effective from 1st of January 2017. Under the credit-linked subsidy scheme, each beneficiary can avail subsidy up to 2.35 lakh rupees on purchase of a house. Well, the government's announcement comes almost a week after RBI raised the housing loan limit under priority sector lending. The RBI had decided to revise the housing loan limit from the existing 28 lakh rupees to 35 lakh rupees in metropolitan centres and from the existing 20 lakh rupees to 25 lakh rupees in other centres. Now, this revision is applicable only when the overall cost of the dwelling unit in the metropolitan centres does not exceed 45 lakh rupees and at the other centres by 30 lakh rupees. And the government is also considering a proposal to raise the pension limit under the Atal Pension Yojana to up to 10,000 rupees per month. The existing status is up to 5,000 rupees. Joint Secretary in the Department of Financial Services said that there is a lot of feedback from the market asking for higher pension amounts, as many feel that 5,000 rupees at the age of 60 years, 20 to 30 years from now will not be sufficient. Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority Chairperson Hemant G. Contractor also said that the proposal has now been sent to the Finance Ministry, with an aim to increase the subscriber base of Atal Pension Yojana. And after the government received no bidders for the proposed strategic stake sale of Air India, the government is now re-examining its disinvestment process for the debt-laden airlines. According to media reports, the government is considering to include a clause requiring a minority state stake in Air India. Quoting a senior official in the Ministry of Finance, the report also said the government is open to re-examine its stake in the airlines, as it does not intend to insist on keeping 24% of the company. Remember, in the month of March this year, the government had announced its plan to sell up to 76% of the carrier, but it received no bidders on the last day of its auction in May. The ailing airline's total debt stood at over 48,000 crore rupees at the end of March 2017. Big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where 4 personnel of the Border Security Force have been martyred in Pakistani shelling in Chamblial sector of Jammu and Kashmir's Samba district. Pakistani Rangers fired unprovoked last night and targeted BSF posts. The BSF troops retaliated effectively. The martyred include 1 assistant commandant, 1 sub-inspector and 2 soldiers of the BSF. 3 other soldiers have also been injured and have been admitted to Government Medical College in Jammu. The DGP of Jammu and Kashmir, SP Vaid, has also tweeted regarding the incident and said that our heart goes to those who lost their dear ones. Last month, thousands of people residing along the IB in Jammu, Kathua and Samba districts had to flee their homes following intense shelling by Pakistan between 15th to 23rd of May, which left 12 people dead. The major ceasefire violation by Pakistan comes weeks after top-level military officers of both the countries agreed to implement the ceasefire pact of 2003 in letter and spirit. The state has witnessed a spurt in Pakistani shelling and firing along the IB and the LOC this year. Over 700 incidents of shelling have been reported till 7th of June, which has left 38 people, including 18 security personnel, dead and several others injured. News from Karnataka now, where Congress candidate Soumya Reddy has won the Jayanagar Assembly election seat. 55% was the polling recorded in the Jayanagar Assembly constituency, which went to polls on Monday. The assembly elections were held across the state last month, but the poll in Jayanagar was countermanded following the death of BJP candidate BN Vijay Kumar in May. So with this result, the BJP has 104 seats in the assembly, with Congress's tally rising to 80 and JDS with 37 seats. And Congress President Rahul Gandhi has once again targeted the 4 years of Modi government. At a press conference in Mumbai today, the Congress President said that a grand alliance of opposition parties led by Congress will be able to wipe out BJP in the 2019 polls. Responding to Rahul Gandhi, the BJP leader Shah Nawaz Hussain said that the people of the country are very happy with the NDA government's achievements in the last 4 years and they have full faith in Prime Minister Modi's governance.
जो महागठबंधन है ये एक देश में सेंटिमेंट है, ये पूरा का पूरा विपक्ष जो है ये प्रधानमंत्री बीजेपी और आरएसएस के खिलाफ खड़ा हो रहा है और ये सेंटिमेंट सिर्फ राजनीतिक लोगों ने नहीं है, ये जनता में है और ये सवाल जनता के अंदर भी है कि जिस प्रकार से प्रधानमंत्री जी बीजेपी हिंदुस्तान के कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर, हिंदुस्तान के इंस्टीट्यूशंस पर आक्रमण कर रहे हैं, इसको रोकने की ज़रूरत है और इस एक्सप्रेशन को, इस आवाज़ को कांग्रेस पार्टी जोड़ने का काम कर रही है और बाकी पार्टियां भी इसमें लगी हुई हैं।
उनको मालूम होना चाहिए कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी जब लोकसभा के चुनाव में जाएगी तो नरेंद्र मोदी जी को प्रधानमंत्री बनाने के लिए देश की जनता वोट डालने आएगी और हम मध्य प्रदेश, छत्तीसगढ़, राजस्थान भी जीतेंगे। हमारी सबसे बड़ी ताकत राहुल गांधी अगर समझते हैं कि बीजेपी की ताकत क्या है तो उनको मालूम होना चाहिए हमारी सबसे बड़ी ताकत नरेंद्र मोदी हैं और विपक्ष की सबसे बड़ी कमज़ोरी राहुल गांधी है। राहुल गांधी जी को समझ लेना चाहिए कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेता नरेंद्र मोदी से देश की जनता प्यार करती है और देश के लोग उन पर भरोसा करते हैं। इसलिए ऐसा ख्याली पुलाव वो बनाते रहें कि मध्य प्रदेश, छत्तीसगढ़, राजस्थान में वो हमें हरा लेंगे और 2019 में हमें हरा लेंगे, ये सपना उनका कभी पूरा होने वाला नहीं है।
And now an update on former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's health condition. Well, his health condition continues to be stable according to a release issued by AIIMS on Tuesday night. The former Prime Minister is under close observation and he's responding well to treatment. The 93-year-old leader was admitted to the hospital on Monday morning with a urinary tract infection. The former Prime Minister underwent dialysis on Monday and continues to remain in the ICU of the Cardiothoracic Center of the AIIMS Hospital. A host of political leaders, including former Prime Ministers Manmohan Singh and H.D. Deve Gowda, visited the ailing leader yesterday. Let's get an update from my colleague Fateh Tipu, who is joining us live from outside the AIIMS Hospital. Tipu, what is the update that you can get us on former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee's health condition now?
Well, today is the third day of the Atalji is at home. The health is gradually improving now. However, the health bulletin has not been released as of now. But doctors believe that Atalji could get discharged from AIIMS by latest this evening, because what the doctor perceived that the antibiotics has improved his health condition and all. So moreover, in continuation of the meeting of the senior leaders, former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and H.D. Deve Gowda also visited AIIMS to send good wishes to the Atalji. And we have just seen since morning that a lot of the people over here in front of the AIIMS were praying for the Atalji. It's a good. They just want to they are looking for the positive message from the AIIMS administration. And moreover, President Ram Nath Kovinds also sent a good message to their family.
All right. Thank you so much, Tipu, for all those updates. We'll keep coming back to you on that story. And President Ram Nath Kovinds will embark on a three-nation tour to Greece, Suriname and Cuba from 16th to 22nd of this month. On the first leg of the visit, the President will leave for Athens on Saturday. He will be accompanied by a large delegation, including Minister of State for Steel Vishnu Diosai. President Kovind will meet his Greek counterpart as well as meet the Prime Minister of the country, Alexis Tsipras, and the leader of the opposition there. President Kovind will then leave for Suriname on the 19th and he will hold discussions with the President there. A number of agreements in the areas of health and medicine, elections, IT, Ayurveda are scheduled to be signed, and on the last leg of his visit, the President will be in Cuba from 21st to 22nd of June. He will hold a wide range of discussions with the Cuban President. Also, agreements in the areas of biotechnology, research and education in homeopathic medicine, traditional system of medicine and medicinal plants will be signed during this visit. And concerned about the quality of food being served in railways, the government says that the railways will soon install CCTV cameras inside the train kitchens, and that footage will be put out in the public domain for everyone to see. In an exclusive interview to Rajya Sabha TV, Railway Minister Piyush Goyal said that his government is committed to maintain a better hygiene standards when it comes to quality of food and bed linen given to the passengers.
Quality of food which is being served, the kind of linen which is provided to the passengers. How is the government really ensuring this quality?
We're bringing in better hygiene standards in the kitchens. And at some stage, I have in my mind that I'll put CCTV cameras on those kitchens and put that feed into public domain.
Okay,
so
that's
that
a brilliant
all
idea.
of you will be able to monitor what's happening in those kitchens.
While talking about the endless train delays because of winter fog, Goyal said that very soon trains will not have to depend on the red, yellow and green signals, as the modern high quality signals will ensure that the trains run smoothly and on time despite heavy fog.
Come December, and people in India dread traveling in trains, given the fact that the trains crawl in December and January.
We are now looking at introducing modern signaling systems in the Indian Railways, which will ensure that trains talk to each other through technology. and will no more be dependent on the red, green, yellow lights.
Well, you can watch the entire interview with Piyush Goyal today, 10 p.m. on our program To The Point. So don't forget to tune in then. And with that, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Welcome back. News from Uttar Pradesh, where at least 17 people were killed and 20 others were injured in Mainpuri district of Uttar Pradesh after a bus overturned after hitting a divider. A bus carrying over 50 people overturned after hitting a divider in the morning in Mainpuri. The officials have stated that the private bus was carrying mostly labourers returning to their native villages. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has expressed condolences to the bereaved families of passengers and has announced 2 lakh rupees compensation to the families of those dead and 50,000 for those injured in the accident. Meanwhile, the President and the Prime Minister have also expressed their condolences. And a special court in Mumbai on Tuesday issued a non-bailable warrant against diamond merchant Nirav Modi and his family members in the over 13,000 crore rupees Punjab National Bank fraud case. Last week, ED had moved an application before the court to issue warrants against the accused persons, charging them under various sections of the Indian Penal Code and the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The CBI on Monday had approached Interpol seeking red corner notices against Nirav Modi and his uncle Mehul Choksi in the scam after the UK confirmed Nirav Modi's presence in the country to the Indian authorities. News from Assam, where 62 people have been arrested in connection with the last week's lynching of 2 youth in Karbi Anglong district. And they have been arrested for involvement either in recording the lynching on their mobile phones or in circulating the video clip on social media with statements and comments to incite hatred between 2 communities. On Friday, 2 men were pulled out of their vehicle. They were beaten to death by a group of villagers who suspected them to be child lifters. The crackdown on the misuse of social media was launched by the police after initial investigations suggested that the messages posted on social media about child lifters entering the state had led to the lynching episode. Meanwhile, Assam government has also announced to introduce an awareness program in all development blocks and panchayats in the wake of the incident. And air quality in the national capital and surrounding areas worsened as the pollution levels in Delhi spiked yet again. The NCR saw a rise in pollution levels due to strong anticyclonic winds blowing from Rajasthan. According to officials, many places in Delhi witnessed air quality plummeting to hazardous levels, causing hazy conditions and loss in visibility. Earlier, 10 people were killed and several others injured due to lightning strikes delivered by heavy monsoon in West Bengal. The Met Department has predicted heavy to very heavy rain in the region for the next 24 hours as well, and fishermen have been advised against venturing into the sea over the next 2 days. Meanwhile, heavy rains also caused flooding in Assam, areas of Assam as well. Over 1,000 people have been evacuated to safer places due to flood-like situation in Lunglai and Azawal district of Mizoram as well. Heavy downpour in the region has resulted in schools declaring holidays for 2 days, and the Met Department has also predicted thunderstorm and lightning in parts of Bihar, Jharkhand and Odisha. And days after accepting Indian cricket team captain Virat Kohli's fitness challenge, Prime Minister Nirav Modi this morning posted a 1 minute to 40-second video of his morning exercise regime. In the video, Prime Minister Modi is seen practicing several breathing exercises and some yoga asanas as well. Apart from this, Prime Minister Modi said that he walks on a track inspired by the 5 elements of nature. Prime Minister Modi tweeted, "Here are moments from my morning exercises. Apart from yoga, I walk on a track inspired by the 5 elements of nature. This is extremely refreshing and rejuvenating. I also practice breathing exercises." Prime Minister Modi also asked people to devote some time to exercise every day. The Prime Minister also nominated Karnataka Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy and Commonwealth Games gold medalist Manika Batra for the fitness challenge. Remember, the challenge was started by Union Minister Rajya Singh Rathore on Twitter. Meanwhile, Karnataka Chief Minister Kumaraswamy also responded to the Prime Minister's challenge, saying that fitness is indeed very important. He tweeted, "I believe physical fitness is important for all and I support the cause. Yoga, treadmill are part of my daily workout regime." He added that he was more concerned about the fitness of his state and sought Prime Minister's support for it.
बहुत कम प्रधानमंत्री ऐसे हैं जो अपने खुद के फिटनेस वीडियोस लोगों के साथ शेयर करते हैं, तो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने शेयर करा है और एक तरह से आह्वान करा है हम सभी से कि हम सबके जीवन में चुनौतियां रहती हैं, हम सबके जीवन में डेडलाइंस होती हैं, जिम्मेदारियां होती हैं, लेकिन वो जिम्मेदारी हम एक ही शरीर से पूरा कर सकते हैं और जब तक वो शरीर स्वस्थ नहीं रहेगा तो हम जिम्मेदारियां भी नहीं कर सकते। बस इतनी सिंपल सी बात है और बिल्कुल गैर राजनीतिक पूरे देश को साथ में मिलकर, चाहे आपकी कोई भी उम्र हो, आपको अपनी उम्र के हिसाब से अपने तरीके से फिट रहें।
And the US government has approved a deal to sell the Indian military 6 Apache attack helicopters for $930 million. The agreement has been passed to the US Congress for approval. The approval concerns direct sale of finished products from the US manufacturers. The order for 6 helicopters is in addition to an order of 22 Apache helicopters that India had placed in September 2015. Now, deliveries of the initial helicopters are scheduled to begin in 2019. Well, in addition to the aircraft, the contract includes right vision sensors as well as GPS guidance and hundreds of anti-armor and air-to-air missiles as well. The US State Department said that the choppers will provide an increase in India's defensive capabilities to counter ground-armored threats. And India and the US have also agreed to hold official talks to address trade and economic issues days after US President Donald Trump accused New Delhi of charging 100% tariffs on some US goods. The decision was taken during a series of meetings between visiting Commerce and Industry Minister Suresh Prabhu, where the US Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross and US Trade Representative as well. Now, India will send an official team to work out the details and initiate comprehensive negotiations on all issues concerning trade and economic relationship between the two nations. A top international focus, North Korean leader Kim Jongun has accepted US President Donald Trump's invitation to visit Washington. This comes after the two leaders met for a historic summit in Singapore on Tuesday, signing a document committing the US to unspecified security guarantees in exchange for a denuclearized Korean peninsula. The KCNA news agency said that Kim had invited Donald Trump to visit Pyongyang and Trump had also invited Kim to visit the United States. KCNA said that the top leaders gladly accepted each other's invitation. Trump's summit with Kim was the first ever meeting between a North Korean leader and sitting US president. And in the morning, Donald Trump thanked Kim Jong-un, saying that the North Korean leader had taken the first bold step towards a bright new future for his people. He added that the meet proves that real change was possible. Donald Trump went on to say that the world has taken a big step back from potential nuclear catastrophe, and Chairman Kim has before him the opportunity to be remembered as a leader who ushered in a glorious new era of security and prosperity for his citizens. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has also announced that he was halting the annual US-South Korean military drills. Donald Trump said this in an interview to a television channel, that the US will not hold war games with South Korea while North Korea negotiates in good faith on denuclearization. Donald Trump added that he wants to remove the close to 28,000 US troops that are stationed in South Korea as a deterrent against North Korea. But Donald Trump's comments has upended decades of US defense posture on the Korean peninsula. Meanwhile, South Korea has responded by saying that it was trying to analyze Donald Trump's comments. Seoul's defense ministry said that at this current point, there is a need to discern the exact meaning and the intent of President Donald Trump's comments, and that there have been no discussions yet with Washington on modifying drills set for August this year.
The things that I'm very happy about, we're not going to play the war games anymore, which you know how expensive that is? We're flying these massive bombers in for practice from Guam. I said, how far is Guam? 6.5 hours, sir. I said, that's a long way for a big bomber times, 20. And lots of other planes coming in. So we're not going to be doing the war games as long as we're negotiating in good faith.
And finally, the World Cup fever has gripped the world as the event is set to kick off. The opening match between hosts Russia and Saudi Arabia will kick off in Moscow tomorrow. So we'll leave you with these visuals. Thanks so much for watching.